This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Alright, and welcome to the GSMC Sports Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. And as always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. Alright, obviously, this episode came out early today. Okay, usually it comes out around, 4:30, 4 o'clock? No, nonetheless, I am recording early today, so that's why we will be getting an early episode. Alright, if you're wondering why sometimes your favorite podcasters will drop an episode later on in the day or usually early in the morning, it's because they record around that time. Alright, so nonetheless, here I am. And let me tell you what we're talking about today. More free agency talk. I guess it's sort of free agency talk, more so Rondo and Lonzo for the first segment, along with anything else that has to do, that connects with that. That's what we'll be talking about. Alright, should the Lakers start Rondo this season or should they start Lonzo? We'll talk about the fit and everything. Second segment, we'll talk about this upcoming weekend's quarterfinal matches. Okay, we got Brazil, Belgium, Friday, along with Uruguay and France, I believe. And then we got Saturday, Sweden, England, and then Croatia, Denmark, I believe, on Saturday. No, Croatia, we'll be playing Russia. Excuse me. All right, let me double-check those matches just to make sure I got it right. So, yeah, tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific time, we got Uruguay, France. Then we got at 11 o'clock, Brazil, Belgium. 7 o'clock on Saturday, we got Sweden, England. And then at 11 o'clock, Russia, Croatia. All right. So, those are the 4 games going on this weekend. Like I said, we'll preview them, give my thoughts on them all. France, Uruguay, it's going to be a decent one. Looking like Cavani probably will sit against France, so that's going to be a bit of a problem for them. Brazil, Belgium's going to be, that's an even match right there. I'm not sure who to take there. Sweden, England, I think we know the favorite right there. It's got to be England. And Russia and Croatia. As good as Russia have played, Croatia are the better team right now. So we'll be talking about that for the second segment. Third segment, we're going to be talking about some coaches on the hot seat this season who could be. All right, I'm going to talk about Jason Garrett. He might not be on the hot seat as of right now, but I still got some thoughts on that. Like I said, we'll talk about any other coaches. And then for the fourth segment, we will be talking about anything else going on in the world of sports, as we always do. Got some Wimbledon scores to give out and all that. So that's how today's show is going to go. Nonetheless, let's get into it, okay? I wasn't even sure if Lonzo Ball was going to be on this Laker team by the time LeBron already got there. Okay, I figured that maybe he was going to be part of some type of trade to the Spurs for Kawhi Leonard. Well, part of me thought maybe he'd be gone, and part of me thought, why would the Spurs want Lonzo Ball? Not because Lonzo Ball stinks or anything like that. Lonzo Ball was a very good rookie last year. All right, I just think that he had way too high expectations, and that's why probably we didn't talk about him enough. Okay? Like, yeah, he can't shoot the ball to save his life, but he's basically a 2.0 version of Ben Simmons. Okay? Not as good, but does a lot of the same things, has a lot of the same game. Okay? But yeah, if there wasn't so many expectations, we would have thought Alonzo as being maybe a guy who could have been in that Rookie of the Year race. Okay, obviously he wouldn't have won it because Jason Tatum, Simmons, and Mitchell just by far had better seasons. But nonetheless, we looked at Lonzo as if, yeah, this guy played terrible this season. All right, where in the case, that's not true. But nonetheless, like I said, teams tend to shy away from him because of his dad, LeVar Ball. All right, LeVar, whether it's unintentionally or intentionally, will cause a distraction. And I'm even thinking about this season. Let's say that Lonzo's not having the greatest season. Okay, LeBron's dominating the ball a whole bunch, and that's why. You don't think LeVar's going to come out and speak his mind? And you don't think that ESPN or Fox Sports is going to go out, take whatever LeVar's got to say, and they're going to run with it? He's a distraction. That's the only way to put it, okay? So, yeah, I figured that maybe he was going to get traded. Obviously, that never happened because his camp leaked that he had a torn meniscus. Okay? And honestly, this is a genius move. Okay? I have no problem with Lonzo's camp leaking he had a torn meniscus. All right? This is a genius move right here. Smart. If you don't want to get traded, figure out a way not to get traded. No one's going to trade for a Lonzo Ball who has a father who caused distractions and right now has a torn meniscus. All right? I don't think this torn meniscus happened during the league season. I don't think he's fully healed up yet. He'll be back for training camp and all that. But like I said, it's the genius move here. Now Lonzo's pretty much untradeable as of right now. Like I said, no one's going to trade for the guy. All right? So I saw that his camp did that. I mean, I figured that too. As soon as it came out that Lonzo had a torn meniscus, I mean, who else could it have been? Why would the Lakers leak out that he had a torn meniscus when they're trying to trade the guy? Okay? It would make no sense there. So when I heard that, I joked around saying that, oh yeah, it's probably LeVar or whatnot, but it probably was LeVar that leaked it out. Okay? And like I said, I have no problem with it. I'm about 4 players trying to find a way to stay on their team if they want. Okay? Fans of the Lakers might get mad at Lonzo and his camp because they leaked it, but it's a smart move here. Okay? So Lonzo doesn't end up getting traded. Okay? Seems that the Spurs want way too much for Kawhi either way. LeBron ends up coming aboard. And they don't get Paul George. Also don't get DeMarcus Cousins. Alright? So this offseason for the Lakers has been a bit good, and it's been a bit bad. Because honestly, you added LeBron. Look what they added after that. Rondo. They added KCP back, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Okay, JaVale McGee. Lance Stevenson. Alright, I don't think I'm missing anyone else. I might be. Alright. But nonetheless, I mean, those aren't the greatest free agent ads. Okay? You don't add those guys to a building team. You add them to a team that's already built. Alright, we got to need a guy who fills this role. Alright, that's Lance. We need a guy who fills this role. Okay, that's JaVale. Alright. But nonetheless, I mean, now we got the question of, like I said, they added Rondo. Who's going to be the starting point guard? Rondo or Lonzo? Alright. There was also a report coming out that since Lonzo's camp leaked the fact that he had the torn meniscus, the Lakers told Rondo that he'll be competing for the starting position this offseason, starting point guard position. All right, so that's why I'm bringing it up now. Who would be a better fit to play with LeBron, Lonzo or Rondo? I mean, first glance, it's got to be Rondo for me. Okay? Rondo has played on a team where he wasn't the best player. Obviously, Lonzo did last season, but, like, I'm talking to the point where, yeah, you know, okay, yeah, this guy's definitely the best player on the court. Okay, yeah, this guy's definitely the second best player on the court type of thing. Okay. Rondo played with KG, Pierce, Ray Allen. All right. Then he's gone over to play with DeMarcus Cousins. He's played with Dirk. He's played with Anthony Davis. So Rondo's never really been the best player on his team. All right. Actually, the years after Pierce, KG, and them left, he was. But nonetheless, you get what I'm saying. Okay, Rondo knows how to play with those guys and knows how to keep them productive and playing well. Lonzo, I'm not so sure knows how to play with guys that are better than him on the court. Meaning doesn't know how to defer to them at times. Of course he's a point guard. Of course he's going to get rid of the ball and whatnot. But that's, I don't know. It's like he's not the primary guy on offense is what I'm trying to get at here. If that makes sense, okay? It's a bit difficult making this point. But nonetheless, I'm saying that you start Rondo instead of Lonzo with LeBron because Rondo knows what it's like to play with guys that are better than him. And he knows how to make the most out of it when even he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Okay, Rondo could play off the ball, I'd say, but a lot better than Lonzo could. All right, it's just that Rondo has learned to. Lonzo's just 19, barely in the league. Okay, just got done with his rookie season. Lonzo's got a whole lot more to learn if, and this is all dependent on Lonzo getting a jump shot too. If Lonzo were to get a jump shot, then it's easily him, the one that you start. But until he does develop that jump shot, he needs to learn a little bit how to play off the ball and still be a effective player without a jump shot. Okay, I think Rondo could be that player. Okay, I think Rondo is a perfect player to maybe play off the ball with LeBron. Plus, I say if you have Lonzo running that second unit with guys like Lance Stevenson and all that, you're going to need guys who can elevate the play of the people around him. That's Lonzo. I think Lonzo would be perfect for that second unit. Do I expect Lonzo to be a backup point guard for the rest of his career? No, but as far as the fit for this season, possibly. Okay. I think I'd be much more comfortable running because this is the way it's looking like right now. Rondo, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, LeBron, Ingram, McGee, starting 5. Okay. Then you got Lonzo going out there with Kuzma, Stevenson. You could throw Josh Hart out there. And then Mo Wagner. That's a solid second unit right there. And Mo Wagner, too. I've seen him play a couple of the Summer League games. Going to go check him out later on today, too. The dude's a beast. All right? And I can't wait for the Summer Leagues later. I mean, I've been watching the games on ESPN. And it seems like the Kings fans know how to show up well for a Summer League tournament. But nonetheless, like I said, I'll be out there today for the final day of it. Hopefully Mo Wagner and all those guys are playing. I want to see Marvin Bagley out there. I really want to see Bam Adebayo for the Heat too. So it'll be interesting to go out and see how these players are playing in their second summer. But nonetheless, like I said, I mean, yeah, that sounds fine to me. Okay, you got your veteran guys out there in the starting 5. Like I said, Rondo, KCP, Braun, Ingram, McGee. And I'm not sure how I feel about McGee either. The Lakers really needed Boogie or someone like that because right now, the looks of it, McGee probably will be playing 25 minutes plus with their current roster. Okay? That's never been McGee's type of thing. Warriors figured out McGee's a guy, the most you can get out of him is 15 minutes as far as full productivity. Okay, after that, it's pretty much, you're pretty much watching with your eyes closed. Okay? Like I said, I mean, you roll that starting 5 out there, and then the second unit of Lonzo, Hart, Stevenson, Kuzma, Wagner. That's a pretty solid second unit there. So I think that's what they need to do. I'm curious to see if it'll be what it is. But nonetheless, I'd say they probably end up rolling Lonzo out there. Okay, I think that's going to be the final decision. And even then, so Rondo with those guys. I don't know, actually. I think I like Lonzo with that second unit more. I'd rather Rondo being the veteran, the guy who pretty much has the higher basketball IQ and knows how to play with guys that are a whole lot better than him. I think he'd be better suited for that starting 5. Well, like I said, I mean, and even if you think about it, okay, they make the playoffs. You want Rondo being your starting point guard in the playoffs, or do you want Lonzo? All right. Laker fans might point to Lonzo, but then in reality think, okay, look at Rondo in the playoffs year after year. All right. The dude can't be stopped, but we'll see about it. Of course, I mean, we still got a whole bunch of time, and I'm sure the Lakers still got moves to make. So, like I said, we're going to wrap it up here. Next up, we'll be talking about this weekend's quarterfinal matches in the World Cup. So stay tuned, and I will be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. We spent that first segment talking about who should be the starter for the Lakers this season between Lonzo Ball and Rajon Rondo. I think it should be Rondo. All right, I think it'd be much better having Lonzo run with that second unit of Stevenson, Hart, Kuzma, and I'm assuming Wagner. Okay, I mean, if you have seen Mo Wagner play for the Lakers so far in their first 2 Summer League games, I mean, the dude has looked pretty good. All right. But nonetheless, I mean, yeah, I think it'd be better for both parties if Rondo's starting, playing with LeBron. All right. And of course, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm assuming that maybe Lonzo is the starter from the beginning of the season on. All right, given the fact that Lonzo was your second pick of last season's draft. So I think you still got to give him a chance, but nonetheless, that's just my thoughts on it. Okay. And let me see if I can pull up the Summer League stats real quick. I've been looking. There's not too many outlets for Summer League stats this season. All right, they don't got them on ESPN or anything like that. Let's see if I could find them this season. All right, because like I said, I want to know exactly how Mo Wagner's been doing. I know Bagley played pretty well in his first game. Didn't get a chance to check him out in his second game. All right, so let's see in sack. I mean, obviously you got Derek Jones playing well. Wagner's averaged 15 points, I think, in both of his games. Let's see real quick. Let's see exactly how the Lakers players have done. So, yeah, Josh Hart, who played 2 games, he's averaging right now about 28 minutes per game, giving him about 12 points. Wagner, like I said, giving him 15 and a half. He's played well. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to check them all out today. But nonetheless, now we're going to be moving on to the quarterfinal stage of the World Cup. All right. So tomorrow, like I said, we got Uruguay, France at 7, Belgium, Brazil at 11. All right. Uruguay, France is... I mean, France in this one are the favorites, as they should be. Okay. But don't count Uruguay out. Okay. France going to be without Matuidi. Uruguay going to be without Cavani. All right. So Suarez is going to have to lead it up top for Uruguay. And we saw how France played against Argentina. All right, won that match 4-3. Probably should have won it 4-2 if not for that last-minute Sergio Aguero goal that put him back within one. But nonetheless, I mean, France in that game played fast. Okay, opened up the field a lot. Played a whole very comfortably. Okay, spent the entire game attacking. Mbappe couldn't be stopped. Griezmann was getting into open space, and Giroud was causing some trouble for the back line. All right, pretty much all the guys that needed to do their job did their job. The midfielders, defense included. Or even had Benjamin Pavard scoring probably one of the goals of the tournament against Argentina. Now, they're going up against a team who plays a completely different style than Argentina and a team who I could see knocking off France and Uruguay. Okay, Uruguay, they want you to attack the way France do. Uruguay have no problem with France spending most of their time in Uruguay's half of the field. Okay, Uruguay have no problem defending whatsoever, and I think that might be a problem with France. Okay, kind of like how we saw with Germany in their group stage matches. Okay, teams obviously didn't have a choice, but teams had no problem sitting back and trying to defend Germany. Okay, and with Germany, they were the attacking team for every single match, but to the point where they were trying the same thing over and over because it kept coming close. Okay, what if France kind of gets stuck in that little loop of we're going to keep trying what we game plan for? If they're not scoring, eventually Uruguay's going to take a chance on an opportunity and they're going to score that way. That's how the game always ends up for Uruguay. Okay, I'm curious to see how Mbappe, Giroud, and Griezmann do against Jose Maria Jimenez and Diego Godin. Okay, because I don't really see how France gets through in the middle of that defense. Godin and Jose Maria Jimenez have been the two best defenders of the tournament, if we're being real here. Okay, literally, they've been that good. And also their goalie, Fernando Muslera, has been playing really well too. Okay. And I think even with Cavani out, I still got Uruguay in this one, okay? I got Uruguay going all the way to the final and winning the tournament, so I guess I might as well still stick with them. Cavani, as good as he is, I don't think it'll affect the match too much. Now, hear me out, okay? I think that Suarez is good enough to where he could probably get a goal or two against this France backline, but I will note that Suarez hasn't necessarily had the greatest World Cup as far as scoring the ball. All right. Had an assist in their game against France. Looking at behind that against Russia. I believe he scored against Russia also. Okay. So let's see. He's got a goal against Russia, I believe. How many did he get there? I think he just got the one. Yeah, so he got the one in the 10th minute. Other than that, I think that's his only goal. It might be his only goal of the tournament, unless he got one against Saudi Arabia, which he did. So he's got two. Let's see. Did he get one in the first? And Uruguay in their first match looked terrible. I think it was Cavani who got the goal. Or actually, it was Jimenez who got the goal. So he got 2 goals so far and an assist, I believe. All right. Doesn't necessarily been the most clinical player. And I mean, even this season, too, with, Barcelona, he wasn't himself. So either way, though, I got Uruguay winning this one. I'm going to stick with them. Then we got Belgium and Brazil. Swedish TV station have been tracking how much time Neymar has spent on the ground rolling around. It's been 14 minutes. Okay. Anything about it? That's 14 minutes of him basically just faking. All right. But nonetheless, that's your stat of the day right there. All right. So with Belgium and Brazil, I mean, you got De Bruyne, Witsel going up against against Casemiro, Paulinho. Let's see who, and I'm assuming Coutinho. Okay, but Coutinho's going to push more up. It's going to be more so Paulinho and Casemiro trying to control that midfield against De Bruyne and Witsel. All right. I'm curious to see what each team's starting 11 looks like, especially Brazil's, given the fact that they had Marcelo out for the last match. I'm sure for Brazil, we'll probably see the same lineup they've been trotting out, but nonetheless, I mean, these teams are even right here. There's nothing to give. All right, obviously, I mean, Brazil's probably a little bit deeper and probably has the more quality of players all around. But like I said, I mean, you can't go wrong with Mertens, Hazard, Lukaku, Witsel, De Bruyne, Meunier, Alderweireld, Kompany, Vertonghen, Chadli, and Courtois, which could be the starting 11 for Belgium. All right. I mean, Belgium have probably looked like the best team of the tournament so far. All right, it's either them or Croatia, I feel. Belgium's played 4 matches, won 4 matches, of course, in that game against Japan. They did have a bit of a scare going down 2 goals in the start of the second half. Of course, they come back and end up winning on that game-winning counterattack. Like I said, they ran the 3-man weave, and Japan had no answer there. But nonetheless, I mean, we'll see, because this World Cup has been filled with a lot of talk about Neymar and the fact that he's diving so much. Okay? And I think it might have become a bit of a distraction because it's getting talked about every single match. All right, and if you got Brazil going out early in the quarterfinals, I mean, a lot of the blame is going to be put on Neymar. Okay? A lot of talk is going to come about his diving and all. And I think with Neymar, eventually you just got to mature and understand that it's not all about you. Brazil here are playing for something much larger than Neymar, which is the World Cup trophy, and they could do without his antics. Okay? Because I'm sure even some of the players are a bit tired of it. And I mean, every soccer player, time to time, goes down because of nothing. Okay? But with Neymar, it's a every game occurrence. All right? The dude is going to be on the ground rolling around about 5 different times a match. It's going to slow the match down. Okay? Could take Brazil out of their tempo. And it's just bad for the sport. All right. So we'll see how it all ends up going down. If I had to make my pick for the game, I had Mexico playing Belgium in this one when I first made my picks from the round of 16 on, but I'd say now that things have changed, I mean, it's pretty much a toss them up here. Both defensive have been playing well. Both attacking sides have been playing well. I guess I got to go with... I'm going to go with Belgium in this one. That's my gut pick right there. I'm going to go with Belgium. So, Belgium-Uruguay semifinal sounds pretty nice. All right. So, then on to Saturday's games. We got England-Sweden. I mean, England have played well. Probably they've been a top 5 team in the tournament, too, with the way they've played. But I just think right now England's on an absolute mission. All right. With the way Gareth Southgate's got this team playing, the mentality and all that, I think England's going to go to the semifinals and beat Sweden. I mean, that's your analysis right there. Okay. I just think that this England team they're too good to fall in this quarterfinals right now. There's something different about this England team, so I got them beating Sweden. I got them winning about maybe 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, something like that. All right, England's going to be in control for most of this match, I feel. And then, well, of course, I say that, but England do have the history of falling up short. I think that penalty shootout against Colombia kind of gets them away from that. All right. So then we got Russia and Croatia. Russia have played well. They played strong. Hung in there with Spain, ended up beating them in penalties. All right. Now you got Croatia, who have had probably one of the most dominant midfields in the tournament. Rakitic, Modric have been absolutely incredible. Okay. And I got Croatia winning this one. I got Croatia, Uruguay in the final, so I got to stick with that pick there. All right. And as good as Russia have been, Spain, they always tend to disappoint in the World Cup. Of course, they got their trophy in 2010. Other than that, every other World Cup, I think their best finish is fourth. But other than that, I don't think they've ever been to the semis. It's always been quarterfinal, round of 16, or even group stage outs. Okay. So I think this is going to be tougher for Russia compared to the Spain game. But I do think Croatia is going to come out as the winner here. Okay. Just like England, Croatia have been playing way too well to go out in the quarterfinal. All right. But wouldn't it be something, all right, if Russia ended up making it to the semis? Or even the final for that matter. I think last time we had a team do so well in their host, like the host country do so well, was probably 2002 with South Korea. I think they finished third in that World Cup. All right. 2010, South Africa made it. I don't even think they made it out the group stage. 2014, Brazil get pretty much destroyed in the semifinals by Germany. 2006, Germany, I think they finished third in that one actually too. All right. But nonetheless, I got Croatia, England, Uruguay, Belgium in the semis. All right. An England-Uruguay match would be a dream, but I do think it'll probably end up being Uruguay-Croatia. Or actually Belgium-England. All right, because we didn't get an opportunity to see their starting 11s play in the final group stage match of their group. But nonetheless, we'll see how it all ends up. Of course, those games are this weekend, so we'll know what the semifinals is looking like by one day. So we're going to wrap it up here. Next up, we're going to be talking about the NFL, some coaches who could be on the hot seat this season. So stay tuned, and I will be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. We spent these first two segments talking about the Lonzo and Rondo debate. Who's going to be the starting point guard of that team starting the season? I think it should be Rondo, but we'll end up seeing how it all goes down there. Then, for the second segment, we talked about this weekend's quarterfinal games in the World Cup, quarterfinal matches. I got Croatia, England, Belgium, and Uruguay all advancing. All right. So we'll see how it all goes down. But nonetheless, should be plenty of good games. Like I said, Belgium, Brazil should be good. England, Sweden should be decent. All right, Uruguay, France should be a fun one to watch. Well, could be really boring, but I know I'll enjoy it either way. And then Croatia, Russia should be decent. So, we got let's not kid ourselves. We got the top matches to start on Friday, and then we got the so-so matches on Saturday. All right. But nonetheless, like I said, they all should be decent. Shouldn't be any bad ones. But of course, we got the star power on Friday. So now we head over to the NFL. Okay, still pretty quiet going on. Suspensions being handed out. Players hoping they didn't do anything wrong. All right, appeals coming left and right. So I guess it's a real negative time in the NFL. Okay. Now we head over and talk about coaches who could be out of jobs this season. All right. And I'm curious, okay? What is the end goal over in Dallas with Jason Garrett? What are they working for here? Okay? Honestly. Honest question here. What exactly are the Cowboys working towards with Jason Garrett? Because, I mean, since he's taken over, he hasn't really done anything. Okay? Nothing at all. And it's just a point where Jerry's kept this guy around for a while. Since 2010 to be exact. And what have the Cowboys done since 2010? Made the playoffs twice. That's cool. You lost in 2016. You lost a game in 2014 in the playoffs. So you didn't win the Super Bowl. All right. 2010, he only coaches 8 games. They go 5-3. 2011, they go 8-8. 2012, they go 8-8. 2013, they go 8-8. Usually something like that, coach is going to lose his job. Okay. Gives him another chance. 2014, they go 12-4. Win a playoff game, lose a playoff game. All right. 2015, they go 4-12. 2016, they go 13-3. 2017, they go 9-7. I mean, sure, I guess last 2 seasons he's had winning records. Okay, 3 out of the last 4 seasons he's had winning records. He's made the playoffs twice out of the last 4 seasons. Where it's just a point where, I mean, don't the Cowboys want more? Okay. I understand it's tough to get a decent head coach out there. But nonetheless, it kind of just seems that the Cowboys are kind of just stuck. Okay? They should be a whole lot better than what they are. And it just feels like even if they make the playoffs, it's not enough. Okay? The Cowboys have not made it to a Super Bowl since the 90s. And you kind of feel that they're that team that's got to be constantly good. Okay? They should be at least. And like I said, I think it's just a point where maybe this season you got to have Jason Garrett's job on the hot seat a bit. Okay. So like I said, I get that him and Jerry Jones have a good relationship and all, but there's just a point where eventually it's got to get old, right? Eventually you got to take the next step. You can't just be being a team who is going to make the playoffs one year. Year after that, we'll probably have a bad record. Year after that, we'll be decent. The year after that, we'll make the playoffs again. Okay. Because, I mean, since Garrett, like I said, they haven't really done much. Even before that, I mean, let's see. There was a point where they lost 4 straight wild card games. Okay. Lost a bunch of divisional round games. So, yeah, like I said, Dallas has been a team that's severely underachieved, I think, since Garrett has taken over. And I think that this season's got to be the season where Jerry finally takes over and is like, you know what? You didn't get it done this season. Because if the Cowboys don't make the playoffs this season, you still bring back Jason Garrett? I wouldn't. I think that'd be a terrible, okay? I think it'd be a terrible decision. Because this team with Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, like, you got to keep the bar high here. You can't just keep playing for mediocrity. All right? And I think that's exactly what the Cowboys are doing. They're playing with mediocrity. Jason Garrett, has he ever shown you that he could be a top coach in the league? Okay, where would you even rank Jason Garrett amongst the coaches in the league right now? I'm not taking him over Doug Peterson. Okay, let's go through it. Yeah, so I'm not taking over Doug Peterson. Let's see. I'm not even sure I take him over Pat Shurmur. Or I'm not taking him over Mike Zimmer. Let's see. I'm not taking him over Dan Quinn. I'm not taking him over Ron Rivera. I'm not taking him over Sean Payton. I will take McVay over him. Okay, I'll take Shanahan over him. I will take Pete Carroll over him. Belichick. Let's see, who else? Tomlin. That's already 10 coaches. Okay. Am I missing anyone else? I think I'm good right there with the 10. Oh, and Reed. I'll take Reed over him. That's 11. So there's about 11 coaches, maybe a little bit more, that I'd take over Jason Garrett. Okay. If you're Dallas, are you fine with having the 11th, 12th best coach? Okay. That's about middle of the pack right there. That's about where you're at. All right. You got an average coach. You got an average record every year. Okay. So like I said, he could be on the hot seat. Of course, over in Cleveland, you're always going to have Hugh Jackson on the hot seat. Hugh's a guy who could see his job go in the middle of the season. Okay. Let's say that Cleveland ends up jumping out to a 1-5, 1-6 record. What's the point of keeping Hugh out there? I'm going to tell you this. It's not going to be Tyrod Taylor's fault that they're that bad. Okay. And I'm not sure how really Hugh Jackson could mess up the offense this season, given the fact that Todd Haley's going to be making the calls, but it is possible. Okay, it definitely is. I would not count out Hugh Jackson somehow, some way, getting his hands on that team and somehow wronging the right that they're trying to do. All right. Like I said, I mean, Hugh Jackson, I think this season has to go at least 7-9 for him to keep his job after this season. I think 6-10 kind of makes him think about it, but he's gone then. All right. Because, I mean, there's a point. Even if he's coming back, Hugh's still 1-31 in his first 2 seasons. If you're the Browns, do you really want that? Okay. Hugh Jackson, great offensive coordinator. Hugh Jackson, not a great head coach. And that's just fact of the matter there. All right. A guy like Dirk Cutter, head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, could be losing his job this season. I mean, you got Jameis out for the first 3 games of the season. You're starting out 0-3. You probably won't win more than 6 games total this season. Okay? Last season, I mean, you already saw that Tampa Bay was thinking of getting rid of him for Gruden. Who's to say this year? I mean, Tampa Bay's in the position where they should be playing for the playoffs. All right? They should be pretty much trying to knock through that ceiling. And if you have back-to-back losing seasons with Dirk Cutter, obviously you're not progressing towards your goal, right? No, you're not. So even then, I could see them getting rid of a guy like Dirk Cutter. All right? I mean, Dirk Cutter, Hugh, all guys who could possibly lose their jobs this season. Do you want them to? No. All right? Same with Adam Gase. He decided not to draft a quarterback this year in the draft. Ryan Tannehill is his guy. Let's say Tannehill doesn't play well, or hopefully not when he gets hurt again. Miami season's over. Okay? I don't see Ross, their owner, bringing back Adam Gase at all. Okay? Stephen Ross seems like the kind of guy right now who is tired of owning a mediocre football team. He wants to start winning. Gase was brought in to make this team win. Did so in his first season, second season, they did nothing. Third season, this is it right here. Okay? Gase doesn't do anything, I could see him out there also. I mean, pretty much. You got rid of the guys that he didn't like. Now he brought in the guys that he does. There's no excuses here. All right? So, I mean, there's a lot of coaches this season who are going to be on the hot seat. Let's see, any other ones? I mean, Vance Joseph also. Okay, last 2 seasons. Last season, he was a rookie coach. Didn't really do too well. Didn't have a quarterback, though. This season, you got your quarterback. You got a decent defense, and you got decent offense. All right? They had to do something this season, or else Joseph's definitely going to be out there. So, we'll see how it all goes down, but nonetheless, we're going to wrap it up here. Next up, we're going to be talking about anything else going on in the world of sports, so stay tuned, and I will be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's GSMCpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. So far today, we've talked quarterfinals in the World Cup stage, quarterfinal matches in the World Cup, previewed those. We talked about Rondo and Lonzo, excuse me, and then for the third segment, we talked about some coaches who are going to be on the hot seat. All right, now we talk about anything else going on in the world of sports. So, mentioned Wimbledon earlier. Okay, we had Novak Djokovic winning in straight sets, Nadal winning in straight sets, Martin Cilic losing, getting upset. He's the third seed of the tournament for the men's side. And I don't understand tennis rankings. Like, I do, but there's a point where, like, why is Novak Djokovic ranked 12th? Okay? You really think he's the 12th best tennis player in this tournament? Okay, like Serena Williams being 25th. I understand that they take some time off and all that, but there's a point where I feel like, yeah, sure, they took time off. You got to reward the players who have been there, been playing every weekend and whatnot. But there's a point where, come on now. Federer should be number 1, Nadal number 2. You can make Djokovic number 3. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, and then Serena should just always be number 1. Okay. I'm not sure how these rankings really work or anything like that. Can't be as bad as the FIFA rankings, no way. But like I said, okay, let's cut the middleman and let's just make the rankings the way they're supposed to be. Or the seeds, okay? Because they aren't rankings, these are where they're seeded at. All right, so excuse me. But nonetheless, yeah, let's start doing it that way, please. I don't need to be watching a tournament where I'm watching Serena Williams playing someone she's obviously better than. All right? Serena Williams needs to be the number 1 seed, and that's just it. Okay, like I said, make Federer the number 1, Nadal number 2, Djokovic number 3. Djokovic shouldn't be the 12th seeded tennis player at this tournament. All right. But like I said, I'm not a tennis genius or anything like that, so they obviously know what they're doing. But nonetheless, there's that going on. Let's see how yesterday's MLB games went. I think we had the Nationals losing to the Red Sox again. I think the Yankees pulled one out against the Braves. So let's see for Wednesday's matchups. What did we have going on? Red Sox beating the Nationals 3-0. All right, Eduardo Rodriguez been pitching really well for the Sox this season. Yankees beating the Braves 6-2. All right, CC Sabathia with the win there. He's been pitching well also for the Yankees. Marlins beating the Rays 3-0, I should say. That's my soccer talk right there. Cubs beating the Tigers 5-2. Phillies beating the Orioles 4-1. Phillies competing with the Braves for that top NL East spot. The A's winning once again, beating the Padres 4-2. Right now, the A's are currently 9 games over 400. Good for them. All right. You got the Brewers beat the Twins yesterday 3-2. Angels beat the Mariners 7-4. Mariners trying to compete with the Astros for that AL West spot. And then you got the Reds beating the White Sox 7-4. And the Astros beating the Rangers 5-4 in extra innings, finished in 10 innings there. Mets beating the Blue Jays 6-3. Both of those teams pretty bad. Mets awfully bad. Indians beating the Royals 3-2. Dodgers beating the Pirates 6-4. Rockies beating the Giants 1-0. And then the Cardinals beating the Diamondbacks 8-4. That's how yesterday's games ended up going down. All right, let's see. What do we got going on for today, for Thursday? A lot of the same, I'm sure. All right, but nonetheless, I mean, let's check it out real quick. So for Thursday, we got Marlins Nationals, Rangers Tigers, Braves Brewers, Orioles Twins, White Sox Astros, Padres Diamondbacks, Angels Mariners, Cardinals Giants. Those are the games going on today. Let's check out these standings. All right, I'm sure not much has changed, obviously, since the last time we checked it. But, of course, in the AL East, we got Boston, 1 game up on the Yankees. Indians still a bunch of games up on the Tigers in that AL Central. Astros a game and a half up on the Mariners. 8.5 up on the A's. So A's right now, seemingly enough, are 7 games back of the wild card. All right. NL East, we got the Braves 1.5 games up on the Phillies. All right. National 7 games back there. NL Central, we got the Brewers a game up on the Cubs, 6.5 up on the Cardinals. And then the NL West, we got the Diamondbacks up a half game on the Dodgers, 3.5 up on the Giants, 4 up on the Rockies. That division's starting to look a whole lot more like what we thought it would to start the season. All right, starting out the season, Dodgers were terrible, Rockies weren't doing too hot, and the Giants weren't either. All right, even the Diamondbacks for that matter. Yeah, they weren't first, but they weren't necessarily playing their best. So that's how it's looking like right now. Okay. Looking at the wild card standings, let's see, let's double check right now. Like I said, we got the Yankees and Mariners in the 2 spots in the AL. A's 7 games back. And then in the NL, we got the Cubs and Phillies occupying those 2 spots. Dodgers a game back. Cardinals 3.5. Giants 4. Rockies 4.5. Nationals 5.5 back there. All right. So that's how the MLB is going on right now. Haven't even hit the All-Star game yet, so that's where we're at. As far as anything else going on in the world of sports, you got Devin Booker closing in on a max deal with the Suns. Suns should be a really good team this season. All right. I don't expect them to make the playoffs or anything like that, but I'd say that they are maybe going to be near 500, probably win about 35 to 41 games, something like that. Okay. Then we had Wilson Chandler going to the 76ers. It's a decent little pickup there. I mean, you got Covington there already and Saric, so I'm not sure really what their plan is with Wilson Chandler or what the Nuggets' plan is after Wilson Chandler, but nonetheless, that ended up happening. Amir Johnson took a 1-year deal to stay with the 76ers. All right, Bielika ends up signing a 1-year deal to go there too. Also had JJ Redick coming back. So Sixers got pretty much the same team as last year as far as the players they're bringing in now. It's a matter of like the same type of, they're going to be playing the same exact way. All right, they're going to be filling in the roles of Elias Silva and Bellinelli, talking about Bielika and all those guys that they're bringing in. So, I mean, Sixers should be pretty good this season. Obviously, they're going to have to compete with Boston to get to the finals. Right now, Boston is the better team. All right, Dante Exum re-signing with the Jazz on a 3-year, $33 million extension. All right, let's see, anything else going on right now in NBA free agency? Not really. All right, real slow day yesterday, I'd say. And looking at that Lakers locker room, I mean, there's going to be a lot of egos to deal with there. LeBron's, all right, Rondo hasn't been necessarily the easiest person to get along with. Lance Stevenson, we all know about him. JaVale McGee, goofy guy. I mean, there's going to be a lot of different dynamics and characters in that locker room, but we'll see if Luke Walton and those guys can make it work. All right, right now, I'd say that Lakers team needs to add a whole lot more. I'm not sure really what their plan is going forward, but if it's to win now this season, it's not really going to work out there. So, like I said, we'll see how it all works out. But nonetheless, we're going to wrap it up here. Today, we talked about who you start, Rondo or Lonzo. I'd say you go with Rondo for the Lakers. All right, I think Lonzo would be good with that second unit. Second segment, we previewed this weekend's quarterfinal matches in the World Cup. Third segment, we talked about some coaches who could be on the hot seat in the NFL. And then for this fourth segment, we talked about anything else going on in the world of sports. So thanks for listening to the GSMC Sports Podcast. As always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. I will be back tomorrow, so stay tuned, and I will talk to you guys later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.